Good morning from KMVT.
Good morning, Southern Idaho. I'm Jacob Dizon. Here's a look at your digital news update. A local teenager found out his fate in court for the murder of a Jerome man. In the Gooden County Magistrate Court, 18-year-old Alexander Garcia was brought before the judge, the prosecutor, and the victim's family. He pled guilty for the June 2024 murder of Dax Richins, and the judge sentenced him to 25 years to life in prison. In closing arguments, the prosecutor argued that Garcia had planned the murder and glorified what he did. The defense stating Garcia has expressed remorse for his actions and understands that he cannot take back what he did.
Once that enormous wrong was done, it couldn't be undone, but the defendant could have done the right thing by calling the police. He could have done the right thing by telling someone where Dax's body was.
Richins' body wasn't discovered until 3 months after the murder. The November election is a month away, and there are some key things to know before you go out to vote. If you are already registered, you also want to make sure you've updated your information if you've moved or had a name change since the last election. A reminder, all voters will be required to provide personal ID before early voting or on election day. In Twin Falls County, some polling places have changed. The county clerk's office plans to mail postcards letting impacted voters know. You can also find your polling place on their website. While there aren't any major state or national races on the ballot, Twin Falls County Clerk Christina Glasscock says it's still important to get out and vote.
These are the people at the local level that represent you on your school boards or on your city council. The bonds and levies affect what you pay in property taxes. So these are so important for voters to come out.
For a look at a sample ballot so you know what you'll be voting on, you can go to voteidaho.gov. Election day is Tuesday, November 4th. Stay with your hometown station for complete coverage of our local races. Work to repair the Vinion Road Bridge over I-84 is set to begin next week, nearly a year after it was damaged. The bridge west of the Kimberly interchange has been closed since December when a truck hauling an excavator struck the bottom of it. According to the Idaho Transportation Department, starting on Monday, crews will replace 4 damaged girders and install a new bridge deck over the impacted section. ITD says the total cost of the work is around $600,000, and the company responsible will reimburse the department for all costs.
So we knew it was going to take a little bit, because when something like this happens, we have to assess the damage, make sure that it's something that we can replace, or if we had to destroy the entire structure completely. It was determined that we could just replace these girders and then put a pavement over the top of it.
At this point, ITD is not planning for any freeway closures during the repairs. The project is expected to be finished by mid-December, after which the bridge will reopen to traffic. Yesterday, a bicyclist was struck in a residential subdivision in Kimberly, just south of the high school. According to the Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office, paramedics and first responders were responding to the scene to provide emergency care, but their response was delayed by motorists who failed to yield and were not paying attention to their surroundings. The Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office reminds the public that Idaho law requires all motorists to yield the right-of-way to emergency vehicles using lights and sirens. Now let's check in with Heather Ann Wagner for a look at your weather.
Good morning. We are in for another beautiful day for our Wednesday. Let's take a look at your hometown forecast. Now, our highs today are going to be about 5 degrees warmer than what we saw yesterday. Some areas maybe even a little bit more. For the Wood River Valley, mostly in the 50s and 60s. We have lots of sunshine in this forecast as well. For the Northern Magic Valley, mostly in the 70s today, the mid to lower 70s. And for Twin Falls County, mostly in the 60s and 70s. Again, really minimal wind. Lots of sunshine. It is just going to be a really beautiful day out there. For the Mini-Cassia region, mostly in the 60s and 70s. Again, a lot like yesterday where we started the day with these really cooler temperatures, even some frost, and then we warm up very nicely in the afternoon with very minimal wind. So try to get out there and enjoy it, because it really is going to be a beautiful day.
That was a look at your digital news update. We'll be back with more of your local news today at noon. Until then, you can also send us story ideas by sending an email to news@kmvt.com.